Imagine a small, old house in a quiet neighborhood, where every wall holds memories and secrets from past generations. This is where Mrs. Amelia lives, a woman with silver hair and eyes full of stories. She has always been the matriarch of the family, a respected and beloved figure, though with a firmness few dared to challenge. The day begins with a soft light filtering through the curtains in her living room. Mrs. Amelia, with her slow steps, walks to the armchair where she sits every afternoon, a cup of tea resting in her trembling hands. Next to her, an old leather handbag sits, as ancient as the memories it carries. It is a simple item, but for Mrs. Amelia, it is a priceless treasure, a piece of a distant and cherished past. Today, she has made an important decision. She will leave this handbag to her daughter-in-law, Clara. Clara is a young woman, full of dreams and hopes, but also facing her own battles. Mrs. Amelia believes that this handbag, carrying the weight of the family's history, will pass on to Clara the same strength and resilience she has had over the years. With a deep sigh, Mrs. Amelia writes a letter, filled with affection and wisdom, to accompany the gift. She mentions the importance of the handbag, not just as an object, but as a symbol of continuity and love. As she seals the letter, a tear runs down her face, mixing with a satisfied smile. She feels that, in some way, she is passing on a part of herself to the next generation. And so, with a simple gesture, Mrs. Amelia prepares to leave a legacy that transcends time and hardship. Little does she know that this simple gift is about to become the epicenter of an unexpected twist that will change the lives of everyone involved. Days pass, and finally, the moment to receive the handbag arrives. Clara, full of anticipation and curiosity, visits Mrs. Amelia to get her gift. She enters the house with a sparkle of enthusiasm in her eyes, eager to see what her mother-in-law has prepared for her. Mrs. Amelia greets her with a warm hug and a look of tenderness, guiding her to the room where the handbag is carefully placed on a polished wooden table. Clara looks at the handbag with a mix of surprise and apprehension. It is visibly worn, but Mrs. Amelia's gaze suggests there is something special behind the simple object. With trembling hands, Clara opens the handbag. The leather is aged and the stitching frayed, but inside there is a scent of history and memory. Mrs. Amelia, with a serene smile, hands over the letter that accompanies the gift. Clara reads the words attentively, touched by the sincerity and feelings conveyed through the writing. The handbag is not just a gift. It is a link to the past, a symbol of the connection between generations. Clara feels a wave of emotion, understanding the significance of the gesture. The old handbag, which might seem like a simple fashion item, now carries a profound sentimental weight. With the gift in hand, Clara thanks Mrs. Amelia, promising to care for the handbag with all her heart. She leaves the house feeling honored and a bit curious, wondering what more the handbag might contain besides its sentimental value. Little does she know, as she leaves the house, that fate is about to reveal unexpected secrets that will involve not only Clara but also other figures in her life. As the sun sets, Clara's home fills with a cozy ambience while she examines the handbag more closely. Determined to restore it, Clara sits at her sewing table, trying to clean and repair the worn leather. Amid the process, something curious happens. Her husband, Jack, enters the room with a worried expression. He has always been reserved, but today he seems particularly anxious. "Clara, do you have a moment?" he asks, his voice tinged with nervousness. Clara, a bit surprised, replies that she does. Jack sits beside her and, with a hesitant look, begins to talk about an event that occurred a few days ago. He mentions a meeting he had with a woman, an old lover from the past, whose name he can't seem to avoid mentioning. Clara feels a chill as she hears the name, recognizing the connection to her family's history. Jack, visibly uncomfortable, reveals that the woman had mentioned something about an old handbag, similar to the one Clara now has. Clara's heart races, and she wonders what else might be hidden within the handbag. Jack tries to steer the conversation to other topics, but Clara's discomfort is palpable. She holds the handbag tightly, sensing that something is about to be revealed. He reassures her, but Clara cannot ignore the growing feeling of unease and curiosity. As the night progresses, Clara decides she needs to know more. Jack's unexpected encounter with the old lover and the mystery surrounding the handbag seem to be intertwined in a way she still doesn't fully understand. She feels that the truth is within reach but still hidden, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The next morning, Clara can't get the handbag out of her mind. The mystery surrounding Jack's meeting with his former lover and the old handbag seems to cast a shadow over her entire day. Determined to uncover more, Clara decides to investigate further into the handbag's history. She spends the morning researching in their home library, examining old family albums and documents. Amidst the dusty papers, Clara discovers an old box that Mrs. Amelia had left to her after her grandfather's death. The box is filled with letters and old photographs, many of which feature Mrs. Amelia at various stages of her life. As Clara flips through the documents, one photograph stands out. It's a picture of Mrs. Amelia with a woman Clara does not recognize. The woman is holding a handbag strikingly similar to the one Clara now possesses. On the back of the photo, there is an elegant inscription: Martha, longtime friend and confidant. The discovery makes Clara's heart race. The connection between the handbag and the woman Jack mentioned becomes clear. Martha is the former lover Jack had met. Clara realizes that the handbag must have a much more complex and significant history than she had imagined. She decides to confront Jack with this new information. That evening, when he comes home, Clara calls him into the living room and reveals the photo and her findings. Jack turns pale and, with a deep sigh, admits that he had tried to hide the truth, but that Martha had been an important part of his life before he met Clara. He explains that Martha had been a close friend of Mrs. Amelia's family, and that the handbag was a farewell gift from her. Jack reveals that Martha had been searching for something Mrs. Amelia possessed, and the handbag was a symbol of an unspoken agreement between them. Clara, now with a mix of relief and confusion, feels that she is finally starting to understand the true value of the handbag. But Jack's revelation is only the beginning of a deeper understanding of the handbag's legacy and the impact it will have on her life and the relationships around her. The tension in Clara's home lingers after Jack's revelation. She is determined to fully understand the handbag story and, more importantly, discover Martha's role. Clara decides that the only way to resolve the mystery is to find Martha, if she is still alive, and confront her directly. With some difficulty, Clara locates Martha's address, now an elderly woman living in a nearby nursing home. Heart racing, she decides to visit, seeking answers that could clear up all the murky aspects of the story. Upon arriving at the nursing home, Clara is greeted by a staff member who leads her to Martha's room. The woman Clara sees before her is frail and aged, but still has a glint in her eye that reveals a life full of experiences. Martha looks at her with a mix of curiosity and surprise. Clara introduces herself and explains that she is seeking information about an old handbag that once belonged to Mrs. Amelia and is now in her possession. Martha listens attentively, her gaze becoming distant and contemplative. She seems to recognize the weight of the words and the emotional connection Clara is trying to understand. Martha begins to tell her side of the story. She speaks about her friendship with Mrs. Amelia and how the handbag was a symbolic gift, a gesture of gratitude and farewell. She also reveals that there was a moral debt, an unformalized commitment she felt she needed to resolve before she could leave. Martha's account is filled with emotion. Clara listens carefully, realizing that the gift of the handbag was more than just a simple object. It was a central piece in a personal drama involving love, loyalty, and an old promise. Martha's story reveals the depth of feelings and the complexity of the relationships that formed the handbag's legacy. With her heart full of new revelations, Clara thanks Martha and says goodbye, leaving with a deeper understanding of the impact the handbag had on her life and on Mrs. Amelia's life. The visit to Martha not only clarified the story, but also brought a necessary closure to the emotional narrative now unfolding around the handbag. With the information from Martha and the story behind the handbag now clearer, Clara returns home with a mix of relief and a new kind of unease. She understands that the handbag holds deep significance, but also realizes that there is still more to uncover. The next step is to reveal what she has found to Jack and confront him about the unresolved issues. That evening, Clara and Jack sit down at the dinner table, and Clara begins to share what she learned during her visit to Martha. She describes the old friendship, the gesture of farewell, and the moral debt Martha mentioned. Jack listens in silence, his expression growing increasingly troubled. When Clara finishes speaking, Jack admits that there was much more involved than he had previously revealed. He confesses that, in addition to knowing Martha, he was aware of a secret that Mrs. Amelia had never fully disclosed. It was a secret about an old family dispute and a possible mistake Mrs. Amelia made concerning Martha. Jack reveals that Mrs. Amelia had made an agreement with Martha, and the handbag was part of a more complex arrangement involving the resolution of that dispute. According to Jack, Mrs. Amelia felt guilty for not resolving the situation fairly and had promised Martha that the handbag would be given to someone worthy, someone who could understand and honor the truth behind it. Clara is shocked by the revelation. She realizes that the handbag, beyond its sentimental value, is a symbol of an unfulfilled promise and an unresolved old conflict. The story of Mrs. Amelia and Martha is not just about friendship and loyalty, but also about past mistakes and the need for restitution. With this new understanding, Clara feels a renewed sense of responsibility regarding the handbag. She decides that she needs to resolve the situation once and for all, honoring the legacy and correcting what was left unfinished. The weight of the responsibility now falls on Clara, and she is determined to find a way to address the debt that Mrs. Amelia could not fulfill. With the weight of responsibility on her shoulders, Clara decides to take action to resolve the legacy left by Mrs. Amelia and fulfill the promise made. She knows she needs to find a way to honor Mrs. Amelia's memory and settle the moral debt with Martha. Clara starts by investigating the family dispute mentioned by Jack. She revisits the old documents she found earlier and begins to connect the dots about what truly happened between Mrs. Amelia and Martha. In her research, Clara discovers that the dispute involved a significant portion of the family estate and an unresolved issue of justice. Determined to correct the mistake, Clara starts looking for documents and records that might help her better understand the situation and provide a solution. She reaches out to lawyers and legal consultants, trying to find out if there is a way to repair the error and resolve the dispute fairly. During her investigation, Clara also reaches out to other family members who might have additional information or perspectives on the past. She speaks with distant relatives and revisits the family history, gathering as much information as possible to make an informed decision. The task is challenging and emotionally draining, but Clara is resolute. She feels that she is doing what is right, not only to honor Mrs. Amelia's legacy, but also to find a resolution that brings peace and justice to everyone involved. As Clara progresses in her journey, she begins to realize that true redemption is not just about fixing the past, but also about creating a future where mistakes can be acknowledged and lessons learned. Clara understands that the handbag is not just an object. It is a symbol of an opportunity to do good and bring justice to a story that has yet to be fully told. After weeks of intense research and preparation, Clara decides it's time to bring the family together to discuss the situation and seek a resolution for the unresolved dispute. She organizes a meeting at her home, inviting all family members who might be involved or have knowledge about the matter. Family members arrive one by one, bringing with them a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Clara, with the handbag by her side as a tangible reminder of the story that needs resolution, begins the meeting with a brief explanation of what she has discovered and the importance of the situation. During the meeting, Clara presents the information she has gathered about the family dispute and how Mrs. Amelia had attempted to address it before her passing. She explains that in order to honor Mrs. Amelia's legacy and correct past wrongs, it is essential for the family to work together to find a fair solution. Family members react in various ways. Some are understanding and willing to collaborate, while others are skeptical or even frustrated by the revelation. The conversation becomes heated, with debates over past actions and what can be done now. Amid the discussion, Clara realizes that many family members were not fully aware of the history and details of the dispute. The meeting provides an opportunity to clarify misunderstandings and share information that had been hidden or forgotten. After much debate and exchange of ideas, the family begins to agree on the need for a resolution. They agree to pursue an agreement that not only resolves the dispute but also honors Mrs. Amelia's memory and the desire to rectify past mistakes. Clara feels a wave of relief and hope as she sees the family united around a common goal. The meeting represents an important step in resolving the conflict and seeking justice, and Clara is determined to continue working to ensure that the promise made to Martha and Mrs. Amelia's legacy are fulfilled. After the family meeting, Emily and the family members dedicate themselves to formalizing the agreement and resolving the dispute. However, as they proceed, a series of unexpected challenges arises. Missing documents, complex legal issues, and disagreements among family members further complicate the situation. Emily finds herself immersed in a series of meetings with lawyers and consultants, striving to overcome the obstacles and ensure that the agreement is executed fairly. The process proves to be more complicated than she imagined, and the pressure to resolve everything before the situation deteriorates increases significantly. During this time, Emily faces resistance from some family members who are not entirely convinced of the need to resolve the dispute. She struggles to maintain cohesion and motivate everyone to work together, facing moments of frustration and discouragement. On a particularly tough night, Emily sits alone with the purse, reflecting on the weight of the responsibility she has assumed. She thinks about the promises made by Mrs. Thompson and the expectations of Lisa. Emily feels the weight of these expectations and the importance of fulfilling the commitment, even amidst the difficulties. In this moment of introspection, Emily decides that, regardless of the challenges, she cannot give up. She finds a new determination and inner strength, motivated by the desire to resolve the dispute and honor the legacy left by Mrs. Thompson. Emily realizes that, to achieve resolution, she must remain steadfast and continue fighting for justice. With renewed determination, Emily resumes her work, tackling each challenge with courage and resilience. She is committed to overcoming the obstacles and finding a way to ensure that the agreement is fulfilled, bringing necessary closure to the story and a sense of justice for all involved. After weeks of intense efforts and negotiations, Emily finally sees a significant breakthrough in resolving the dispute. The documentation is being organized, and the agreement is about to be formalized. The sense of relief begins to blend with the anticipation of a positive outcome. However, on the day the agreement is set to be signed, Emily receives an unexpected call from Lisa. Lisa's voice, though frail, is clear and urgent. She wishes to meet with Emily to discuss one final detail before everything is finalized. Concerned and curious, Emily agrees to meet with Lisa. They meet in a quiet cafe, where Lisa reveals a new layer to the story. She confesses that, beyond the moral debt, there is a deep emotional aspect that needs to be addressed before the agreement can be concluded. Lisa explains that the purse was not merely a symbol of a financial commitment, but also a legacy of love and reconciliation. She reveals that, in her final moments, Mrs. Thompson asked her to convey a message. The true value of the purse lay in its ability to bring people together and promote mutual understanding. Lisa's conversation leads Emily to reflect on the deeper meaning of the purse and the agreement. She realizes that the true resolution lies not only in settling the legal dispute, but in healing emotional wounds and fostering unity among everyone involved. With this new perspective, Emily returns to the family meeting, bringing Lisa's message. She suggests that the agreement should be more than just a financial closure, but an opportunity for the family to reconnect and heal past divisions. Emily's proposal is met with renewed openness. The family members, touched by Lisa's message and Emily's perspective, agree to transform the agreement into a gesture of reconciliation and unity. They organize a symbolic ceremony to mark the conclusion of the agreement and the new phase of understanding and collaboration. The conclusion is emotional and meaningful, with everyone involved coming together to celebrate the resolution of the dispute and the newfound understanding that emerged from the purse. Emily feels a deep sense of satisfaction seeing that the true legacy of Mrs. Thompson and Lisa's wishes have finally been fulfilled. The purse, now restored and with its meaning renewed, is placed in a place of honor, symbolizing the unity and reconciliation achieved. Emily, James, and the family move forward with a new sense of connection and understanding, ready to build a more harmonious future. After the reconciliation ceremony and the symbolic resolution of the dispute, Emily feels that the lives of everyone involved begin to follow a new path. The purse, now a symbol of unity and understanding, remains a constant reminder of the power of resolution and forgiveness. However, Emily realizes that the story does not end with the closure of the agreement. She starts to reflect on the lessons she has learned throughout this journey and how they might impact her own life and future relationships. With the weight of her experiences and emotional revelations, Emily decides it is time to share her own journey. She approaches James and suggests they help create a foundation in honor of Mrs. Thompson and Lisa, focused on promoting reconciliation and justice in similar situations. James, touched by the idea, supports the initiative, and together they begin working on establishing the foundation. The mission of the foundation is to assist families and individuals in resolving disputes and finding peace, offering emotional and legal support to those facing conflicts similar to those Emily and her family encountered. Emily becomes the foundation's main advocate, using her experience to inspire others and share the importance of confronting the past, seeking understanding, and working towards conflict resolution. She organizes events and workshops, promoting the message that true healing comes from recognizing and learning from what has happened. The foundation gains community support and begins making a real difference in people's lives, helping them overcome challenges and find peace. Emily feels fulfilled as she witnesses the positive impact of the initiative and how the message of Mrs. Thompson and Lisa continues to touch lives. With the foundation up and running and the family united around a common purpose, Emily and James find a new sense of purpose and fulfillment. The journey that started with the old purse culminates in a legacy of hope and change, transforming a story of dispute and conflict into a force for good. Emily looks at the purse, now prominently displayed in the foundation, and smiles as she reflects on the journey taken. She knows that, despite the challenges and difficulties, the journey led to a significant and positive transformation, and that the true value of the purse lies in its ability to inspire and unite people in the pursuit of a better future. With the foundation fully operational, Emily begins to see the fruits of her labor. The foundation not only helps resolve disputes and promote reconciliation, but also becomes a symbol of hope for those facing similar challenges. Success stories start to accumulate, and the foundation emerges as a beacon of light for many. At a gala event held to raise funds and increase awareness about the foundation, Emily and James find themselves surrounded by beneficiaries and supporters of the cause. The atmosphere is one of celebration and gratitude, with heartfelt speeches and inspiring testimonies from people whose lives have been transformed by the foundation. One of the most touching stories comes from a young woman named Laura, who had faced a bitter family dispute that nearly drove her apart from her siblings. Laura shares how the foundation helped her family overcome the conflicts and restore their relationship. Her words resonate deeply with the attendees, and Emily feels a wave of satisfaction as she witnesses the tangible impact of her work. The event is a resounding success, and the foundation receives additional support from new partners and donors. Emily, now more confident than ever, continues to expand the foundation's reach, introducing new programs and resources to help even more people. Over time, the foundation also becomes a center for learning and training, offering courses and workshops on conflict resolution, effective communication, and mediation techniques. Emily and James work to ensure that the foundation stays ahead of the community's needs and continues to make a difference. Meanwhile, Emily reflects on the journey that brought her here. She recalls the challenges and twists, the lessons learned, and the people she encountered along the way. The old purse, now prominently displayed in the foundation, serves as a constant reminder of the power of transformation and the importance of facing challenges with courage and empathy. With the foundation thriving and the message of Mrs. Thompson and Lisa spreading, Emily finds a new sense of purpose and fulfillment. She knows that the true legacy of the purse is its ability to inspire change and promote peace, and she is determined to continue working to ensure that this message continues to impact lives. Emily's journey, which began with a simple heirloom, has evolved into something much greater, creating a lasting and positive impact on the community and beyond. As the foundation grows and reaches new heights, Emily begins to face new challenges. The increased demand and expansion of the organization bring a series of administrative and logistical issues that need to be addressed. Emily finds herself overwhelmed by the volume of work and the responsibility of ensuring that the foundation continues to run smoothly. While dealing with these challenges, Emily also experiences moments of personal doubt. She questions whether she is maintaining a balance between her personal and professional life. The pressure and workload start to affect her well-being, and Emily struggles to find time for herself and her personal relationships. In a moment of introspection, Emily decides to take some time to reflect on her journey. She takes a break from her activities and retreats to a quiet retreat in a secluded location, away from daily demands. There, Emily dedicates herself to meditation and journaling, exploring her emotions and thoughts. During this retreat, Emily revisits the story of the purse and the mission of the foundation. She recalls the motivations that led her to start this project and the positive impact she has been able to achieve. Emily reflects on the lessons she has learned and what still needs to be done to ensure that the foundation continues to thrive and help those in need. The break allows Emily to regain her clarity and renewed energy. She returns to the foundation with a new perspective, determined to find ways to improve administration and logistics, and to establish a healthier balance between her responsibilities and personal life. Emily begins to delegate some of her tasks and involve more team members in the management of the foundation. She also introduces self-care and wellness practices to ensure that the team, including herself, maintains a healthy balance. Emily's experience makes her more resilient and aware of the needs of both the foundation and her own life. She learns the importance of taking care of herself to continue doing the work she loves effectively. With these changes in place, Emily sees the foundation stabilize and grow in a sustainable manner. She feels a renewed sense of purpose and satisfaction, knowing that she is making a real difference in people's lives while also taking care of her own well-being. With the foundation now operating more balanced and sustainably, Emily decides it's time to expand its reach. She sees an opportunity to extend the foundation's impact to other communities and regions facing similar challenges. Emily and her team launch an expansion project, planning to open new branches of the foundation in different cities and even other states. They conduct a thorough analysis of the most needy areas and create strategies to adapt the foundation's services to local needs. During this process, Emily participates in community events and connects with local leaders to promote the foundation's mission and seek partnerships. She dedicates herself to presenting the foundation to new audiences and building support networks in each new location. The expansion work also brings new learning and growth opportunities. Emily and her team face logistical and cultural challenges, adapting their approaches to fit the specific characteristics and needs of each community. As the foundation expands, Emily encounters inspiring stories of transformation and reconciliation in new areas. She meets individuals whose lives have been deeply impacted by the foundation's help and witnesses the difference it is making in various contexts. The success of the expansion reinforces the importance of the foundation's mission and demonstrates how the message of Dona Emilia and Marta continues to resonate and inspire. Emily feels proud and gratified to see the foundation's growth and influence spreading beyond its original borders. With the foundation becoming a national presence, Emily reflects on the journey from the purse's inheritance to the creation of an organization that promotes justice and reconciliation. She acknowledges that, while the journey has been full of challenges and changes, the positive impact generated is a profound achievement. The foundation's expansion not only broadens its reach, but also reinforces the legacy of Dona Emilia and Marta, proving that the true value of the purse goes beyond its material significance. The foundation becomes a symbol of hope and transformation, helping to build a more harmonious future for many. With the foundation growing and establishing itself in new regions, Emily finds herself in a prominent and influential position. During a fundraising event at one of the new branches, Emily is approached by an old childhood friend, Mark, who recognizes her and approaches with a smile. Mark reveals that, after years abroad, he returned to assist with social responsibility projects and learned about the foundation's work. He expresses his enthusiasm for the impact that Emily and the foundation are having and offers his help to further expand their efforts. The meeting with Mark brings up memories of the past and an unexpected connection. Emily and Mark talk about their diverging paths and the changes that have occurred in their lives. Mark shares stories about his time abroad and how his experiences shaped his perspective on social work. Surprisingly, Mark also reveals that he has a personal connection to Dona Amelia. He discloses that he was a close friend of hers and that, in her later years, Dona Amelia had confided in him about the purse and its symbolic importance. Mark provides additional details about the context and meaning of the purse that Emily was not previously aware of. Mark's revelation adds a new dimension to the story of the purse and Dona Amelia's legacy. Emily is moved to learn more about the significance of the purse and how it was viewed by those close to Dona Amelia. Mark also offers to assist the foundation with his skills and international network. He suggests creating an international collaboration to further expand the foundation's impact, bringing new perspectives and resources. Emily gratefully and enthusiastically accepts Mark's offer. Together, they begin to explore ways to integrate international experience and expand the foundation into new horizons. The collaboration with Mark brings new energy and opportunities to the foundation, deepening its impact and reach. The reconnection with Mark and the new revelations about the purse reinforce the importance of the foundation's mission and Dona Amelia's lasting influence. Emily feels inspired and rejuvenated by this new phase of the journey, excited to face upcoming challenges and explore the new possibilities that arise. With Mark's collaboration, Clara and her team embark on an international expansion project for the foundation. Mark leverages his connections and experience to open doors in various countries, and the foundation begins establishing partnerships with similar organizations around the world. During negotiations and planning, Clara and Mark travel to international conferences and events, where they present the foundation's work and give talks on the impact of reconciliation and conflict resolution initiatives. They are met with enthusiasm and interest, and the foundation starts to gain global recognition. As the international expansion progresses, Clara encounters an unexpected challenge. In one of the new locations, the foundation faces cultural and political resistance. Some local leaders question the foundation's approach and express concerns about how Western practices might fit within local contexts. Supported by Mark, Clara tackles the resistance with diplomacy and openness. She engages in discussions and meetings with local leaders to better understand their concerns and adjust the foundation's approaches to align with the community's needs and values. The foundation demonstrates flexibility and respect for local traditions and practices, adapting its programs to better suit cultural specifics. Over time, the foundation overcomes the initial barriers and builds a solid base of support in the new regions. Clara and Mark's hard work and dedication begin to pay off, and the foundation sees growing positive impact across diverse communities around the world. International success stories start to multiply, and Clara witnesses how the foundation's mission is promoting reconciliation and peace on a global scale. The old purse, now an international symbol of hope and transformation, is displayed at events and exhibitions, highlighting Dona Amelia's enduring impact and the foundation's significance. Clara and Mark celebrate the success of the international expansion and the foundation's growth. They reflect on the journey that began with a simple heirloom purse and transformed into a global force for good. Clara feels fulfilled seeing the foundation make a meaningful difference in so many lives and communities worldwide. The international partnership opens new opportunities for the foundation and solidifies its position as a global leader in promoting peace and conflict resolution. Clara and her team continue to work with passion and determination, knowing they are contributing to a more harmonious and just future. As the foundation establishes itself on an international network, Emily begins to reflect more deeply on her own personal relationships. The journey of the foundation has brought new challenges and opportunities, but it also offered a chance to reevaluate her personal life and the ties she had left behind. During a celebration event of the foundation's global impact, Emily is surprised to find Jessica, a longtime friend she hasn't seen in years. Jessica, who had drifted away due to past disagreements, is now present as an enthusiastic supporter of the foundation. The reunion is emotionally charged. Emily and Jessica talk about the past and the reasons why they had drifted apart. They discuss how their lives have changed since then and acknowledge that, despite their differences, there has always been a genuine bond between them. Jessica shares that over the years, She has also undergone a personal transformation and found new ways to contribute to society. She offers her help to the foundation and proposes collaborating on projects that involve resolving personal conflicts and family reconciliation. Jessica's proposal is met with enthusiasm by Emily. Together, they start working on a program aimed at helping people overcome misunderstandings and strengthen relationships. The project is a natural extension of the Foundation's mission and quickly gains attention and support. The joint work of Emily and Jessica not only strengthens the Foundation but also restores and solidifies their friendship. The personal reconciliation between the two reflects the work that the Foundation does on a larger scale. Emily realizes that just as the Foundation helps heal and unite communities, she also had the opportunity to heal and reunite her own personal ties. The experience of working again with Jessica brings a new level of satisfaction and fulfillment to Emily. She sees the positive impact of their renewed friendship and how it contributes to her own happiness and personal balance. With the friendship restored and the new project underway, Emily feels more complete and ready to face future challenges. The Foundation continues to thrive and expand, now enriched by a collaboration that not only promotes reconciliation on a global scale, but also on a deeply personal level. As the Foundation consolidates itself as a global force for change and Emily's friendship with Jessica becomes an example of reconciliation, a new chapter opens for the story of Mrs. Amelia's purse. With the Foundation's growing impact and the celebration of its achievements, Emily decides it is the right moment for a symbolic and significant step. Emily organizes a special event to celebrate the Foundation's impact and honor the memory of Mrs. Amelia. She invites community leaders, international supporters, and local teams who helped expand the Foundation's work. The occasion is marked by emotional speeches, stories of transformation, and a ceremony highlighting the legacy of the purse. During the event, Emily unveils an exhibit dedicated to Mrs. Amelia's purse, which is now preserved in an elegant display at the Foundation's center. The purse, symbolizing generosity and the mission of unity and healing, is presented as an icon of the work accomplished and the lives touched. The exhibit includes an interactive story detailing the journey of the purse from its humble beginnings to its role in creating a global foundation. Emily shares the personal and professional journey that led her to this point, highlighting how Mrs. Amelia's legacy inspired and shaped the Foundation's mission. The guests at the event are deeply moved by the tribute and the story the purse represents. Many are touched to hear about the changes and achievements made possible by the Foundation and how Mrs. Amelia influenced Emily's life and so many others. As the event nears its end, Emily delivers a final speech, thanking everyone present and reflecting on the lasting impact of the purse and the Foundation. She emphasizes the importance of continuing the work of reconciliation and support and encourages everyone to carry forward Mrs. Amelia's legacy in their own lives and communities. The event concludes with a sense of accomplishment and gratitude. Emily and her team look at Mrs. Amelia's purse, now a symbol of global hope and transformation, with a feeling of deep satisfaction. Mrs. Amelia's legacy not only continues to inspire but has also expanded to touch the world in ways no one could have imagined. With the legacy solidified and the Foundation stronger than ever, Emily and her team look to the future with hope and determination. They know that the work that began with an old inherited purse is now a powerful force for good, and they are eager to continue their mission of uniting and healing communities around the world. After the celebration event, the Foundation continues to thrive, now with an even stronger base and a globally recognized mission. The impact of Mrs. Amelia's purse is reflected not only in the statistics and success stories, but also in how it has transformed lives and communities around the world. Emily and her team watch with satisfaction as the results of their ongoing efforts unfold. The Foundation not only meets emerging needs in various regions, but also develops innovative programs that promote peace, reconciliation, and social justice. Mrs. Amelia's legacy is perpetuated in every new project and initiative. The purse, as a symbol of hope and transformation, is frequently mentioned in speeches and reports, reminding everyone of the power of generosity and perseverance. Emily, now a respected leader in philanthropy, takes time to reflect on her personal journey. She reconnects with friends and family, cherishing the relationships that strengthened her life and contributed to the Foundation's success. In an internal meeting with the team, Emily shares her reflections and expresses her gratitude to everyone who contributed to the Foundation's mission. She emphasizes that the true success of the Foundation goes beyond tangible achievements and is rooted in the stories of personal change and growth that have been made possible. With the Foundation solidified and Mrs. Amelia's legacy embedded in the organization's culture, Emily begins to plan new challenges and opportunities. She is eager to explore new areas of impact and continue expanding the Foundation's mission in innovative and meaningful ways. Emily and her team's work is a living testament to the fact that even the humblest beginnings can lead to great transformations. The old inherited purse, which started as a simple memento, has become the beating heart of a global movement for good. As Emily observes the lasting impact of the Foundation and the expanding legacy, she feels deeply fulfilled. She knows that the story of Mrs. Amelia's purse is much more than a success story. It's a celebration of the human spirit and the capacity to make a difference in the world. The future is full of possibilities, and Emily is ready to continue the journey, carrying forward Mrs. Amelia's legacy and inspiring others to join the cause of creating a more just and harmonious world.